One show returning this year is Grey's Anatomy, and as always is causing strong feelings in its fans. Desiree Williams has her take in this week's rant. What's bothering you, Desiree?
Season 12 of Grey's Anatomy premiered last Thursday, and fans are going crazy. I've heard people say they loved the episode and can't wait for the rest of the season, while others said it was relatively boring for a season premiere. I agree with the second opinion. Grey's is famous for its intense surgical scenes and passionate dialogue between characters, all of which was lacking in the premiere. There were only 2 scenes in the operating room, and there was only 1 patient in a dire situation. Usually, each doctor has a patient to focus on, so we get to watch each story unfold. That's one of the more fun things about the show. You get invested in the patient's story, which makes the surgery scenes that much more suspenseful. But this episode didn't have that. Also, the doctors talked to the patients more in this episode instead of talking to each other. And when they did talk to each other, the dialogue was comedic, not dramatic. With that being said, I knew this season was supposed to have a lighter feel to it because creator Shonda Rhimes addressed that in multiple interviews. Yet, it is season 12, so the show has used the last 11 years to create a reputation of being intense and romantic, and this episode didn't have that same feel. That may be because Meredith and Derek's romantic relationship ended after last season when Rhimes killed off Derek's character, also known as McDreamy. And that's another problem. Derek wasn't even mentioned in the entire episode. I get that there was a time jump between this season and last, but 11 years of the show was devoted to his character and Meredith's relationship. So he dies and just isn't mentioned again? Not only were they involved, but they finally got married and had kids. Yet the kids weren't shown or mentioned in the episode either. Their relationship can't be the focus anymore, but Rhimes built the show around their relationship for so long, and I think it deserved more recognition than that. Now, if their relationship isn't the focus, Meredith Grey still has to be. I mean, the show is named after her. But she barely had any lines in the premiere. In past seasons, she speaks for at least half of the episode and uses voiceovers to narrate certain parts. In this episode, Meredith seemed like a background character. She was not an integral part of the whole, which will hopefully change in the coming episodes. Another staple for Grey's Anatomy is the excellent music choices. If you look at social media after an episode, you will see so much about people crying, happy or sad tears, because of the soundtrack. Rhimes has a knack for pulling at your heartstrings, and she's a genius at picking music that will do it. The soundtrack for the premiere fell short, though. She chose covers of popular songs like Iggy Azalea's Fancy, which is great. But the covers sounded like karaoke music, so the music distracted from the scene rather than adding emotion to it. Overall, nothing big happened to set up a storyline, other than Dr. Bailey becoming chief. After watching the premiere, I'm left with a lot of questions of where the season will go, and I hope next week's episode will feel more like the old Grey's Anatomy.
Thank you, Desiree.